Okay, so now we've gotten some rest. Let's get on with the show now. We're talking about reviving boxing in Nigeria. And then Cecilia, I also remember Rita Orji. What she's trying to say was very, very important. That look, if we don't do our bit, we'll start losing our athletes. You know, speak to some of these young guys. I don't want to call names, but I'm privileged to speak to a lot of them. And they tell you that, why won't we go to Bahrain? Why won't we go to Qatar?
There's even one of our athletes now that's been offered so much money to come to Qatar, and he's considering it.
Why won't he take it? Cecilia, you and I know the story, and that's what is happening with boxing. We're using Larry Kunda as a case study. You remember when he was here with Olusegun Ajose said he was telling Larry, be careful with the platform of the boxing gym, so that he doesn't fall and get injured, because then he was getting ready for the African Union belt.
It's a shame, you know. It's more like a story you don't always want to talk about, but you just can't help it, especially when you see that the more you talk, things are not being done. And the good thing is, you know, we talked about boxing promoter who came in and all that.
Right.
When people like that start coming in, maybe the future, you know, boxers and all that will definitely have hope. Okay, if I had someone that can actually market me and promote me, something might even come out from there, because you know some of them tell you that look, it's not just about what you used to train. Sometimes if you have the money, you can have your own gym at home and, you know, get to take care of yourself. You don't need to go to the national stadium. But the where the thing is actually dangerous is the fact that those who don't have the resources cannot really embrace the sport, because you don't have the facilities ready for those ones to actually come in.
Cecilia, you know how many boxing clubs they have in the UK? Clubs. When I was in London, I went to West Ham to see Larry Kundayo train. That's in West Ham. You've not gone round. So when you were talking about having a little training center near your home where you can, you know, train, I thought about, why can't we have boxing clubs there? So the Minister of Sports will begin to give them an idea now to understand that infrastructure must be in place, and then we need to fix the boxing gym, the National Boxing Gym in Lagos. If you go there, you do this. You don't want to look, because you don't like what you see.
It's better now.
Yeah,
compared to
we have the hostel, which is good, but Cecilia, we're talking, how many punching bags? How many rings? You get what I'm saying? All of that doesn't just make boxing get to the level where it should be. And we know that about 2 years ago and last year, some amount of monies were released. So we're not using it judiciously. What happens to taking boxing to the grassroots, back to the schools? I saw this little boy in West Ham, Silla, it was just 8. They were teaching him movement. They said, don't throw your hands, just move.
Shadow boxing.
There you go. You know what it is, Cecilia? His leg movement is already admirable. So tomorrow, they give him the skipping rope. They say, do this.
You know, Austin, I know if I give you time, you can go on and on and on and on and on. You know, it's like that. But we're happy that Larry Kuda is actually, you know, flying the flag there. If he gets more support, you know, he can actually, you know, channel that back home and also help some boxers back home. You know, when Rooney now, I mean, everyone is talking about his achievements. His former teammate Michael Owen has also joined that. Remember, he was able to score his 250th goal for Manchester United, and last year he scored 49 for England.
Now because
and all that. No, I'm one. I mean, I'm one of those, because what Michael Owen is actually telling all of us is, look, this guy's achieved so much.
That's right.
The break. I mean, don't talk down on him so much like we've been doing, you know, for a while and all that. You just want everyone, you know, to support this lad because of what he's achieved. But if you look at the way when Rooney started, I think that's why the press actually had on him with 250 goals. And you check Cristiano Ronaldo, how many has he scored? Okay, we won't compare. But then the way he started, so everyone expected him to be much more better. He was even compared to the White Fella. Was that the nickname? Yeah, that was how good he was when he started. So they expected so much.
That's
and
right.
when they were not saying that, so I mean, the media,
I don't think there was ever a time I looked at Wayne Rooney and I said that he's not a good footballer. He just only had a phase where he was trying to deal with a lot of things. Look, what we forget about these guys is that they also have their personal issues. They also have family issues. They have things that they look forward to. Rooney didn't just break Manchester United record. It was also Bobby Charlton's record for England. He broke it, 49 goals. So Rooney, club and country, has been admirable. And Michael Owen said, wait a minute, we're being so hard on this guy. Let's show him some love. And that's why I'm asking you. Like, I know there's something, you just give him some punches and say, Rooney needs to wake up, Rooney needs to do this, Rooney needs to do that.
The captain of one of the biggest clubs in the world, the biggest club in England. I mean, come on, you have to step up. You know what? Listen to Michael Owen. He didn't just talk about Wayne Rooney. He also talked about Chelsea. The fact that Liverpool are 10 points drift of them. He also played for Liverpool. Remember? So that's maybe Chelsea will just make the title. Listen to Owen now.
Well, it's an amazing achievement what he's done in his career, really, to be England and Manchester United's top goal scorer of all time is breathtaking, really. And he's a great lad. He's had to shoulder pressure right from a very early age, and he's handled himself really well. I'm biased because I know him and I like him and I'm mates with him, and I think he's done it incredibly well. And I've at some point have felt for him as well throughout his career, because no matter what you do, no matter how good you get in the game, you know, it just means more and more people criticise you. And to think of all that he's done in his career, and he gets, you know, an amazing amount of criticism from his own people a lot of the time. So to do all that is pretty spectacular, and I think there'll only be one player or one person smiling at the end of his career, and obviously he's still got a few years left in him. Well, I think it's a big couple of weeks for Chelsea. Obviously they play Liverpool and then Arsenal, and if they win both of those, then I think you could safely say that they're looking real strong favourites to go on and win the Premier League. But not many teams win at Anfield. Swansea did in the last game, but prior to that, no one won for an awful long time, and I think it'll be a really tough game at Anfield. And from Liverpool's point of view, they have to win, and if they do, then the title's not over.
Yeah, well, lesson for Chelsea, lesson for Liverpool, and of course, Wayne Rooney. Okay, more praises now. You know, you have 250
Cecilia, now, 250 is massive. We need to say well done to Wayne Rooney, and that's what he's saying. I'm talking about the English Premier League. I don't know if Michael Owen is seeing into the future. Next two games for Chelsea, they are not easy games. Liverpool and Arsenal. So this might just be defining moment for the Blues and their
8
title
points
challenge.
clear of Arsenal, 10 points clear of Liverpool. So whatever happens, they just narrow the gap a little bit.
Okay, so
very at the top.
The football can be funny. Let's say they drop 6 out of that. Now. You beat Arsenal, you lose against Arsenal, you lose against Liverpool.
Will Chelsea lose against Arsenal?
No, Cecilia, it's football.
There's a possibility that they might lose against it.
Yeah, it's a possibility. That's why they don't
against
played.
Liverpool, but against Arsenal.
I think
I watched that game against Burnley again, and I don't think they can.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe a draw.
But that's what football can do.
Maybe a draw.
The drama, the suspense. But Cecilia, after seeing
NBA now.
what you said against Gabon and Cote d'Ivoire, I don't expect you to be saying this about Arsenal and Chelsea. Let's just say anything can happen. It's football.
Yeah, okay, anything can happen in football, and Chelsea might even maintain that lead.
That's
okay,
right.
now talk NBA now. Just look at some of the famous results of the night. Spurs and Raptors. For San Antonio Spurs, they were able to win 108-106 over the Toronto Raptors. LaMarcus Aldridge scored about 201 points. Patty Mills added 18 off the bench. And of course, Spurs were able to win that one 108-106, their 5th straight victory of the season. And for Celtics and against Wizards, it was Wizards beating Celtics. I can't wait to hear from Sunny. Bradley Beal was the one who scored 13 points off his 31 in the fourth quarter. And of course, the Washington Wizards were able to extend their home winning streak to 14 games. That's a good one for them over the Boston Celtics. And of course, the Bulls. Talking about Chicago Bulls now Dwayne Wade scored about 21 points. Jimmy Butler added 20. And the Chicago Bulls beating Orlando Magic 100-94, their 2nd straight victory. And next one is, well, for Utah Jazz. They lost to Denver Nuggets 93-103, and it was Nikola Jokic had about 23 points, 11 rebounds, and Jamie Nelson scoring 7 of his 17 points in the last 4 minutes. Denver Nuggets were able to hold on to beat Utah Jazz. And Clippers, well, LA Clippers, they are powering well, but this one, they just couldn't do anything about it. For 76ers, were able to beat them 121-110. Nerlens Noel was the one who scored 19 points. Holmes added about 18, and well, Philadelphia 76ers beating the Los Angeles Clippers 121-110.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Update from the NBA right there. Let's get on with the show now. Cecilia, bring the viewers into all of what we're doing right now. So if you're ready, let's do this. Sports this morning on Channels Television, wherever you are in the world watching us. It's always a delight to have you join us to talk sports. So let's talk some more sports now. On Twitter, we're channels_sports, Facebook channels FM Sports. You can send us an email. It's Sports This Morning at channelstv.com. What are you talking about? I dare you to ignore what's going on, particularly if you are from this continent called Africa. Ignore what's going on in Gabon. I want to know how you want to do it. Football is giving us so much reasons to talk sports. Do you know? Let me tell you a story. Cote d'Ivoire, at the last edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, they were so admirable. They had a coach called Hervé Renard. He left that country for another country called Morocco. Both teams played last night. It was Hervé Renard that led Cote d'Ivoire to win the title. Now in Morocco, that told Cote d'Ivoire, go back home. Football is a wicked sport. That's the story. Cote d'Ivoire no longer featuring at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations. They couldn't go beyond the group phase. What's your take? Let's hear you this morning on Twitter, channels_sports. We're also reviving boxing in Nigeria. Use the hashtag boxing in Nigeria. The House of Representatives, they sat down. They looked at the sport of boxing. They said, what's going on? We have the talent. And boxing is dying. Let's revive it. Look at Larry Kunda and what he's doing. If we don't take care of our boxers, they said that they're going to leave Nigeria and go elsewhere. We don't want that. We want to celebrate our own stars. So let them stay right here so that the reputation of sports in this country will continue to grow. Boxing in Nigeria, let's revive that sport. We'll also talk about Rooney. Use the hashtag Rooney. I know fans of Wayne Rooney, they are in this country. Let's hear from you. Rooney doing all the good things. And then Michael Owen says, let us celebrate this guy that is breaking records here and there. The Australian Open. We're getting ready. Semi-final matches now, and it means at this point, any of the guys remaining can go on to win. So use the hashtag Australian Open. There's just so much to talk about. So whatever it is that is making you talk sports, share it with us. We'll read your comments, your questions, your suggestions right here on the program. Cecilia, let's get on with the show now. We told them about 2 days ago, yesterday, that Ben Eccleston, that his game over. 40-year reign came to an end. There's a new guy now, and he's talking to us.
Yeah, definitely. He talked about how he wants to revive the sport. Not that the sport is dying, but he felt they're not having enough. You don't have enough fans. You know, it's not really friendly with the fans. They just want a situation whereby, you know, Formula One would be like football. Like a main mention of Super Bowl in the US when the tournament is coming out. Maybe when the Houston, Texas wants to host their own tournament. What they need to do is this. What are they going to do is simple. And how is it simple? They'll just try as much as possible to ensure that you have the buzz around everywhere. That buzz, that means maybe in Miami, for instance, they're talking about the race that will be in Texas. And of course, if you go to New York, they're talking about it and all that. Having the buzz around, you know, F1, it's definitely going to help. So I just want to have so many things, you know, bringing in so many things, making more fans friendly. And for this man, you're saying, talking about Benny Eccleston at 86, he will be honorary president. So they said they needed his advice. So he will be advising him on things he needs to do. All he wants to do is to actually make the brand bigger than it is. It's not as if Benny Eccleston didn't really do much, but he wants to make it bigger than it is.
I totally agree, Cecilia, because this man right there is an icon for Formula One. Has a lot of knowledge, has a lot of counsel that the sports can use, has a lot of connections. Most of the policies pass through Benny Eccleston. You don't, I was saying yesterday, I was saying, it's calculating the money right there, you know. So I'm saying that you don't just let this kind of guy to retire and go home. He needs to be part of the setup. He needs to contribute. He needs to tell you, look, we did this way in 1998. It didn't work. We changed it in 2004. It worked a little. This 2017. I think we can do it like this, do it like that. And Cecilia, that draws us back home, because whenever these guys in the West are doing something nice, let's learn lessons. That's why I said, let's make use at the Olympics, Cecilia. They said 75% of the officials were ex-internationals for France. Wow, they do well. Because these are guys that have been there, done that, their experience is valuable and they are using it. And that's why I keep saying our ex-internationals should be involved.
Now, if you check, most of our ex-internationals, usually after they've left the sport, some of them don't even stay in the country. But the few ones that are here, you know, they have other things to do. And when you don't give people a chance, they wouldn't want to, like, just take it themselves. That's why you have the likes of Falila Togunkoye and all that. They have their own different tournaments they organize every year to actually help, you know, athletes in order to better themselves.
It's not even about chance. If you are an ex-international, you're hearing that this ex-international is even with the national team. They've not paid him or her for like 5 months. No, I'm just saying, that's when we're friends, not top notch.
Top-notch.
You say to yourself, let me just stay with my small academy and just be developing it instead of going to give. But I'm saying, yes, they should have more zeal to be part of nation building, but our administrators must also put in place the proper welfare. Sports this morning on Channels Television, we're having so much fun talking sports. You know what? Let's take a breather again. When we come back, there's more sports to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Stay.